abrupt end to the way things were. Or you could look at a crisis as an opportunity to open doors. And with the Saudi-American exchange, I suddenly had a door open that I had not considered before. I was always interested in cultural communication, but I never really thought about using communication as a way of bridging the gap between two cultures. And a gap which, of course, was magnified by the events of 9/11 and the mediated reality that were presented. Many of you know that we had several people at Emerson. There were 4 Emersonians who were on the first flight that went into the World Trade Center. We had a student, we had a faculty member who I had hired when I was chair. We also had another graduate student, and we had Tita Popolo's mother, who was a good friend of our family. And so it was something that personally hit. I was teaching a crisis comm class that term, and suddenly what I was teaching in the classroom became even more appropriate as I was trying to deal with the grieving family. But that evening when we were talking and seeing, of course, how suddenly there was a new them, and that would be the Arab world and these Muslim terrorists, I had another call from a friend, and that was Faisal al-Saud from the, quote, dreaded country of Saudi Arabia, according to Fox News, saying, "Are we still friends?" And that struck me profoundly initially because I thought, well, of course we would still be friends. Why would we not be? Until I realized the media constructs that were being more or less built by especially our news media, where we had to find a reason for 9/11. Of course, the reason was easy. It was Osama bin Laden. It was also the Arabs. It was also Muslim terrorists, etc. So Faisal and I continued to talk. The Popolo family didn't fit the stereotype, and that is Tina's first boyfriend was a Saudi Arabian. So they had a lot of cultural connections with Saudi Arabia. Their neighbors down in Miami was a Saudi pilot on Saudi Airlines. So there was not any of this hate of another country that you could see perpetuated, I think, for people trying to find an easy answer to a complex problem. So once we began that, and like John and like Ali and Richard, we've taken many, many people over, and I know you've been a proponent in terms of making sure we have intercultural communication and all types of programs. We've taken about 1,000 people to Saudi Arabia back and forth since 9/11. And it really is down to the effort of trying to do one thing, to increase understanding through communication. It has nothing to do with politics. It has nothing to do with religion. It has to do with something we all share, and that is the commonality of being able to communicate, rationalize, deliberate, and critically think. The more I've done this, the more